When it comes to Enhypen, one of the recurring conversations in the K-pop community is this idea that they're rude. If you've spent any time on K-pop Twitter, TikTok edits, or even Reddit threads, you've probably seen comments like, they don't look close, they don't care about fans, or their chemistry feels off. And for newer fans, or for people who only see Enhypen in passing, those opinions can really shape how the group is perceived. People outside the fandom see the lack of constant skinship and assume the members aren't close, or worse, that they don't even like each other. But really, it's just their personalities shining through, introverted, thoughtful, and a little more private in how they show love. The second reason has to do with their group dynamic and how it plays out in short clips or edited videos. Like many groups, Enhypen tease each other, joke around, and sometimes act silly. But one example that constantly comes up is the way Niki interacts with sunoo. There are clips where Niki playfully stops sunoo from doing something, or jokes in a way that seems sharp. Fans who follow the group closely know that this is normal between them, and sunoo himself has made it clear he isn't hurt. But when those moments get clipped, edited, and posted online without context, casual viewers interpret it as bullying or disrespect. And once that kind of edit goes viral, it's easy for people who don't know the group well to believe it is truth. In reality, the boys are comfortable with each other, and teasing is just part of their friendship. But the internet loves drama, and so a lighthearted moment becomes proof of rudeness. Third, Enhypen's personalities play a huge role in this perception. Unlike some groups where members are extremely outgoing, loud, and always smiling for the camera, Enhypen tends to be quieter and more reserved. This shows up especially in public settings like airports, fan calls, or big award shows. If you look at fan cams, you'll notice that the members aren't always performing friendliness in those moments. They're often just walking quietly, tired, or focused on getting where they need to go. For some fans, especially international fans, this comes across as them being dismissive or unbothered. But it's important to remember that idols are people too. They travel constantly, they're exhausted, and they don't always have the energy to put on a big smile every second. The difference is that in K-pop, fans are used to seeing idols act overly warm and approachable all the time. So when Enhypen simply act natural and reserved, it gets twisted into being cold or rude. Fourth, language and cultural barriers add fuel to the fire. Enhypen is a group with Korean, Japanese, and Australian roots, and their fandom is global. Sometimes, the way they phrase things, their tone of voice, or even just their natural facial expressions can be misunderstood. For example, a simple short answer in Korean that might sound normal locally can come across as blunt or dismissive to international fans reading translations. Similarly, not every member is equally confident in English, so at times they might stay quiet or give short responses in global interviews. This has led to accusations that they don't care about international fans, when in reality, they're just working within their comfort zone. Cultural differences in communication styles are huge here. What audience sees as polite and reserved, another might misinterpret as cold or uninterested. Fifth, there's the role of social media and the way narratives spread online. In the age of Twitter and TikTok, it only takes one clip to shape how a group is seen. Maybe a member didn't smile in a fan video, or looked down at their phone during an event, or gave a short answer in an interview. That moment gets clipped and labeled as rude, and spread with captions that reinforce the idea. Before long, thousands of people who've never followed Enhypen closely are repeating the claim as if it's fact. These viral narratives are hard to undo because first impressions stick, and fans often don't go back to fact-check. And because Enhypen rose to fame quickly and built a massive fandom in a short time, they became an easy target for these kinds of viral callouts. Another layer to this is the seriousness they often carry on stage and in interviews. From the very beginning, Enhypen had to prove themselves. They came out of Island, a survival show where the members had to fight for their spots, and that experience left a mark. They've talked openly about how hard those days were and how it shaped them as people. Because of that, they sometimes come across as more serious or cautious in the way they present themselves. In performances, they focus intensely, and in interviews, they may seem reserved or less playful. Some people misread that seriousness as arrogance or attitude, when in reality it's professionalism and the weight of their experiences showing through. We should also talk about the fact that Enhypen's rapid rise in the industry put them under extra scrutiny. They debuted under Hype, the same company connected to BTS, and that immediately put pressure and expectations on them. Some fans of other groups resented how quickly Enhypen gained attention, and one way to push back was to criticize their personalities. Labeling them as rude became part of that narrative, especially when they started winning awards and selling out tours at a pace that other rookie groups couldn't match. In this way, the Rude label isn't just about their behavior. It's also tied to jealousy, competition, and fan wars that exist in the K-pop world. Finally, we can't ignore that Enhypen are still very young. Most of the members debuted as teenagers and have been growing up in the public eye. Anyone who remembers their own teenage years knows that you're not always perfectly polite, bubbly, or outgoing every single day. Sometimes you're shy, sometimes you're awkward, sometimes you say something the wrong way. For regular people, those moments are private. For idols, those moments are recorded, shared, and judged by millions. What might just be a normal teenage moment gets magnified into a label like Rude. Over time, those labels stick, even if they don't reflect who the members really are. At the end of the day, the Rude label says more about the expectations of the K-pop audience than it does about Enhypen themselves. In an industry where idols are expected to constantly perform warmth, friendliness, and fan service, a group that is naturally more reserved will always stand out, and not always in a positive way. But if you look past the surface, you'll find that Enhypen's bond is real, their love for their fans is genuine, and their personalities are simply different from the stereotype. And maybe that's okay. After all, not every idol has to fit into the same mold. In the end, staying true to themselves is the clearest way Enhypen shows their love for fans.